Hey guys, I wanted to make a video here on one of the first custom ROMs I've actually flashed on my Nexus 6. It's called Chroma ROM, as you can see from the settings there, and you'll also notice that it is running off Android 5.1.1. Now Google hasn't actually released 5.1.1 for the Nexus 6 yet, so this is using the older 5.1 binaries in its current state, but nonetheless it still has some of the bug fixes and all that good stuff, so yeah, let's get into it. Now you'll probably notice that I'm running the latest Lean kernel here, but Chroma ROM itself actually comes with the latest Franco kernel built in, so you'll get all those benefits straight off the bat, things like color control, sound modifications, and just generally better battery life. Now I also took this opportunity to decrypt my Nexus 6. I only did this because I was wiping the phone, so I thought I'd give it a shot. It's really easy to do. Once you've got Chroma ROM installed, it already has the encryptable kernel, so you can just go ahead and wipe your user data, and once you reboot you'll be unencrypted. So yeah, let's move on. Now Chroma isn't the most feature-packed ROM out there, but it does have some really useful settings. Quick pull down is here. I love this feature. Whenever I go back to stock ROMs, this is probably the first thing I miss straight away, pulling down from the right to access your quick settings and pulling down from the left to go straight to your notifications. You'll also notice my quick settings panel is probably a little bit different to yours. I have things like battery saver, heads up notifications, which you can actually disable system-wide if you want to, and expanded desktop mode. You can also rearrange this whole panel. You can change a lot of stuff. I'll go through that a little bit later on in the video, but it's nice to be able to customize this on Lollipop. Now diving into the settings here, things look pretty similar to stock ROM, except you now have this personalization section with chroma and layers. The layer section actually only appears if you install the layers application from the Play Store, and that's basically a theming engine, so you can theme pretty much the entire ROM. You can theme third-party applications with this. I'll probably do a separate video on that because it's kind of long to explain right now, but it's useful to have here. Now if we dive into the personalization, if we dive into the Chroma tab, at the top here you've got the over-the-air update center, although I did hear the developer saying that he might take this out of future ROMs because it's not working quite the way he wanted it to, but we'll move on from that. Underneath that you've actually got the Chroma options. Now the status bar options are pretty much as you'd expect from a custom ROM. You've got things like battery icons, the clock style. You can see my status bar is different from the stock one already. I've got battery percentage. I've also got double tap to sleep on the status bar. Double tap to wake obviously is included with the Franco kernel. You can go ahead and turn that on. Quick pull down, we spoke about that earlier. Network traffic, I don't normally have this on, but a lot of people do like that, so you can have that in your status bar as well. You've got some weather options here to show that in your status bar. This ROM does come with the C clock included, so you have all those benefits as well with that. And here we have the quick settings customization. So you can move these around, you can rearrange them how you like. If you don't want one of the icons there, you can delete them, including the stock ones as well. And you can also add some new ones as well. Things like notifications, screen timeout, and sync. Plus I added things like heads up and battery saver already. You've got an option here for turning off the brightness slider in the quick settings. You can just go ahead and flick that toggle, and then when you check it, you'll see that the brightness slider is no longer there. So that's completely up to you. I am going to leave that on because I kind of use it quite a bit. Navigation bar options, again, pretty standard stuff here. You've got buttons and input. You can change the height of it, so you can see you can make it smaller if you want to. You can actually turn it off completely, but don't forget you will need some sort of control, so you need LMT launcher or some sort of Pi gestures, because otherwise you just won't be able to use it. It just won't work. Pi is not included in this ROM. You have double tap to sleep here, so you can double tap the navigation bar as well. I basically have double tap to sleep and double tap to wake everywhere on my device. I think it's just excellent. Navigation ring targets is that area where you can pull up from the home button and you get Google Now, but you can actually add two more as well here. You can see there's those big X's. You can add different applications if you want to for quick access. And right at the bottom you have a clear all for recents, and you can see it's the material designed X at the bottom there. You can press that and it will just get rid of all of the cards. For the power menu settings, there's not too much to talk about here. I've got the, well, we can just check it out right now. You can see power off, airplane mode. You can hit reboot and you can go straight into the recovery or the bootloader or a soft reboot. For the volume rocker section, you've got things like the volume rocker wake. You can also have one of the buttons control your camera, so you can use it as a kind of a physical button for your camera shutter, which is pretty cool. But that's really the bulk of the customization you get in Chroma ROM. There are a few more options hidden away in other menus. For example, if you dive into the display section here, you can change things like the LCD density. I leave mine on stock, but you can go smaller if you want to. Once you pick one of these, it will automatically reboot, and once done so, the settings will have been applied. Now, one of my favorite features here is expanded desktop mode, but you can actually do this per application. This is something I adore more on this ROM. I love this because some applications I just want full screen. Now you can see there are a few options here. You don't have to hide everything. You can hide the status bar or the navigation bar or both. So you do have some options on exactly what you want to hide. I can show you this in action right now. I think I have mine set for Twitter. I have it completely full screen. You can see it's very quick, but it's now completely full screen. No status bar, no navigation bar. Really immersive experience. If you want to bring them back, you can swipe from the top or the bottom and you have your controls, but there's pretty much no delay here. It's just very, very quick to use. I love that feature. If we dive into sound and notification, we have an option for increasing ring volume. If I turn this on, you'll probably be able to see that a little bit better. You have a few options here for the start volume and just how long it's going to ramp up or how long it takes for it to ramp up. So that's pretty cool. Scrolling down here, another useful feature is you can actually customize heads up notifications a little bit. You can see you can change the timeout. I've got mine set to 4 seconds. I think the default is 6, but you also have a do not disturb section. So certain applications you don't want heads up to show up in. For example, I have MX Player and YouTube. You can have any app there, and you can also blacklist apps that you don't want to use heads up notifications. I don't want my Google app to use that, so I've put that in there. And right at the bottom here, we have some LED options. You can choose different applications to light up the LED in different colors, so you know exactly which application it's coming from. I tend to not use this much anymore. I've kind of gotten used to not using it on the Nexus 6. The battery light I do use. This is pretty cool. You can have different lights for when your device is fully charged or when it's charging. I like that feature. What else do we have in this ROM? Oh, if we dive into security, right at the bottom of this list here, we have the app security. You can see blacklist. You can blacklist different phone numbers, and you also have privacy guards. So you can choose which applications maybe you don't want to show all your data to. You can also have that enabled for default on new applications as well. And lastly, by default, the ROM actually changes the animations. If we dive into the developer options here, you can see exactly what I mean. You can see for the window transition and animated duration has been changed to 0.75 instead of 1.00. So animations are a little bit more speedy on this ROM by default, which just make things feel that little bit more snappy. And in general, this ROM has been very quick for me. I've had no problems. It's incredibly stable. I've had no crashes, no issues anywhere. I've been running it for about a week now, and it's just been running fantastically well. So it's definitely worth a shot. I've been really happy with Chroma ROM. I do plan to stay on it for a little while as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Peace out.